Good afternoon. Excuse the delay in videos. I've been tied up with other matters, unfortunately. I'm back out where me and Dan were a month ago. It's about 15 or 20 acres, and the farmer has cut the stubble right down. So last time we were unable to really get in close to the deck because the stubble was too long. It's marked on the 1900 map as there are a couple of sheepfolds, so rather suggests, as it's northeast facing, it was used for grazing. So given that it was grazing, not cultivated, I'm not expecting it's going to be a quiet field basically, so I'm going to have to dig a lot of holes. That said, behind me there in the field, I don't know if you can see it, but way back in the distance there, nearer to the farmhouse, I found a 15th century long cross penny, and Dan found a musket ball and a fishing weight. I found a few pre-decimals. There was a pond at the bottom, right at the bottom of the patch that I'm doing today, and the field was formerly, although it's one field, was formerly divided into 4 fields. So I'll run along the former field boundaries that are shown on the 1900 map. So it's 11:45. I'm gonna try and dig as many holes as I can. And the sea used to come in to a point behind that building that you can see, the first building, white building behind me, 1,000 years ago. And beyond that there's a bank which used to be an island in the estuary. I'm on the south coast of Kent, but this is a north-facing or northeast facing stretch of former coastline, and the sea is now 3 miles to the south. See where that hedge sticks out there? That was formerly where the field divide ran across the field in front of us. We just turn it on and off again if we get too much EMI, and it'll sort out which frequency to select. Anyway, first signal is an 8 or 9, which you can't hear. I'll turn the Bluetooth off. Quite a small, compact target, showing full depth, so it could be small or it could be something medium sized, which is just deeper, but we'll just get on and dig it. As I say, it's a very quiet field from the reckoning on the previous trip a month ago with Dan, so I'm probably going to have to dig a lot of holes. Right, that's good, it's in there. 8 or 9. Scale is -9 to +40 on this detector, incidentally. Right, we're on it, that's good. Not in that bit. Right, it's quite shallow this, I think. That's a ring pull. First find. It's a blooming ring pull. There we go. Right, second target is a 19, but there's an iron tone. 16 and 23. More iron that way, full depth, so more than likely it's iron, but we'll just have to dig. Right, we're kind of on it. Down there at about, well, it's best part of the 9 inches, which is the length of the pinpointer. Expect it to be a nail or something, but we shall see. What is it? It's actually it's a machine gun bullet, possibly from an aircraft, that one. Got a date on it. Remains of an aircraft machine gun bullet. 1942. It's impossible to say whether they're from ground-based guns or from aircraft, but that's what it is anyway. Right, hole number 3. Another low number. 10 and 50% on the depth stakes. Likely to be something modern, because it's not. I'm not expecting this one to be deep. Not that depth is entirely a factor, but if it hasn't been cultivated, it could be. Right, in the clod, which is about 7 inches deep. Not in that bit. It's in that bit. Yeah, very shallow target. Hope there's not another ring pull. With a low number like that, obviously the smaller the object, the more interesting potentially it could be. Because scale affects ID anyway. There's going to be something modern, I'm sure of it. Is that it? It's a button. You won't be able to see that. It's quite an old button. I don't think it's got any decoration on it. I didn't bring my water, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a pewter button of some description. Probably 18th century. I don't know if you can see that. Directly underneath the power lines, the EMI is not too bad. They say 45 degrees either side. Don't know if you can hear it there. So one of my ancestors lived very close to here, and he was buried at the top of that what was formerly a tidal mound in 1601. And I have an inventory and a will for him. There's the pond. Now that pond you can see is a depression in the ground. It marks the division between several plots, as is often the case. So I'm going to go around that area with the vain hope of finding something interesting. Right, this one's mixed tones. -5, 23. Even if I go round, getting more iron that way. It's quite faint, so I'm thinking it's deep. I'll come back to you. Right, we can see it. I don't know if you can. I think I can see the tip of a nail there. Might be wrong. Or maybe a bit of barbed wire. No, it's a nail. So a nail down at about 6, 7 inches. We're near the former fence line, so. Alright, this one's pretty clear signal, but 16, it's right on the surface. Have a listen, it's gone iron. -3, so that's going to be something iron. I can see it, in fact. Giant bolt. Yeah, I don't think I'll be taking that home. Giant piece of. As I'm in two minds whether to take it, this great iron thing. What I normally do is leave it near some definable feature in the hedge, so that if I change my mind I can come back. 12:48. So did say that at the outset that the that's an hour, and I found 5 targets, so the hit rate is quite low, but I'm going to persevere and try and dig a decent number of targets. This one's a 7, well no, it's 11, 8 to 11. About 80% on the depth. It's probably something quite small. So that's only about 5 inches, that clod. That's actually in the top inch. Top inch, I reckon it might be a ring pool. Sadly, can't see it immediately. Can you? It's a shotty end. Shotgun cartridge end, unfortunately. A bit loath to dig this one because it's only 1 or 2. And it's right on the surface again. Try and dig it quickly. Right, it's in there. I think that's going to be a nail or silver foil or something. Ah, there it is, silver foil. I was right, there you go. Of course, we haven't had a frost this year. November the 13th today. No frost yet. It's a 6. 50% on the depth. Something tiny. Ah, blooming. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a bit of aluminium. Oh god, bit of burnt aluminium. I think that's what it is. There's a 9 or 10 out of a 8-inch deep hole. It's a little tiny bit of lead shot. Lead shot. Probably in a cartridge with lead shots like that. This was a 16, nothing to write home about, some sort of tin alloy, or I don't know what it's made of, but a washer of some description. This was a 13, I believe, jumping between 13 and 15 anyway. Piece of lead, I think. Yeah, tiny piece of lead. Nondescript. Has it got anything on it? No, I don't think that's got anything on it. But we'll see when we clean up. Tiny piece of lead. This was a 14 or 16. Very broken rolling tone. That's an iron loop. Bit of chandlery, I would suspect. Bridle ring or something. This one was a 9. There's the clod. It's in the lower half of the clod, so reasonably deep, maybe 8 inches or something. Oh, a piece of lead again. I think that's just a random piece of lead again. This was a 15 with -3, but it's gone. Have a listen, it's turned. After extraction, it's turned to iron, so I'll just check that it is iron. It'll be iron with some sort of shape that makes it look non-ferrous. Well, at least it's in a deeper part of the clod anyway. Oh yeah, there we go. Piece of chain link. Couple of chain links. Probably quite old. Right, first decent signal of the day, and it's now, I don't know, been going over 2 hours. 1:49. Started at 11:45. What's the one? 1:45. 2 hours, yeah. Dug about 10 targets. Look at that. 18 to 20. Still in the clod. Ah, got a button. Ah, a button nevertheless. Second button today. That's quite an old one. Might be able to glean something off that. Looks Victorian or earlier. Might be Georgian. A button, not a coin, but anyway. Nice find still. Right, just a quick break and a battery change. Switch it off. We've got 4 AA's. I'll take the old ones out. I'll stick them in my pocket for now. And I'm going to have a quick look at something else before I switch back on. Put the cover back on. Yeah, the other thing is I noticed through here, so here's the surrounding wood, and this is a track. It used to run up to a farmhouse which has now disappeared, so it'd be worth finding out if I could have a permission to do this bit too at some point. It's quite a track, that. See the depression in the ground. See if a change of battery brings a change in fortunes. Sun's come back out again. Contrails. Dug this giant hole. Bear in mind that's 12 by 8, that coral, so about a foot deep, and it was one of those off-centre targets that was in the side wall here, which is showing as 10. So going down too deep because I was off-centre, which usually is a nail. The head of the nail normally projects a strange magnetic field into beyond the head of the nail. It makes it look like the centre's somewhere else. So we shall see. Yeah. In fact, look, it was only in that top 5 inches in the end. That's how off centre I was. It's not going to be exciting, is it? Oh dear. What on earth is it? Oh, hang on. Ah. Ooh, it's a little lead disc. Is that a button? No, I think we got a lead token there. Might have. Possibly. Or a lead button. It may actually, I don't know. I can't see. I haven't got my water bottle, but I better not rub it too hard. That looks, to all intents and purposes, like a farm token, so that could be medieval, potentially. Having had nothing, 26 at full depth this one. After finding that little lead disc, which could be very old, potentially. We're on target. Yep, can you see it? Not the plane, I mean. The plane's up there that is skirting through the clouds. Is that a biplane? Anyway, yeah. A coin! Got the first coin of the day. There it is. That's 1p, unfortunately. One of the old copper 1p's, I think. Pretty sure that's what it is. Yep. Before 92 they were made of copper, now they're just copper plated. 14, 80% in the top 5 inches. There's the hole. Not in there. It's in this somewhere. Tiny piece of lead, I don't know if you can see that there. Slither of lead. This was quite a shallow target, you can see it probably in the hole. 18 or 20. It's a 303. Try and get a date off that later on. 303 cartridge. Right, this one's really 18 or 19, but only 50% depth, so it's not deep. In fact, it's in that side piece there, so yeah, it's an aluminium. What a what a red herring that is. Aluminium piece of some description, God knows what. 16, I do believe. It's going to be in this clod here. Oh, baton. I thought that was a coin for a second. That's a fairly old button. Undecorated, probably Victorian. This was a 9 or 10 out of that hole there. Yep, piece of the lead bullet or something. Tiny piece of lead that's hit something, or something's hit it. That rut where the trees turn in over there, running down, is the original track to the house that stood in the woods somewhere there, that meets the track that I showed you at the beginning of the video in the woods. So that would be amazing to do, but it's part of the wild rewilding that band of flowers that the farmer's planting there, so I'm not able to detect that at the moment. Perhaps later on it might be a possibility. I'll have to speak to the farmer. Right, this was a 12, quite near to where that former pond that I described. There was a copse of trees around it, just 300 feet in front of me there. What have we got? Ooh, got a lead token, I think, or another lead disc. That could be interesting. Can't immediately see anything on it though. Oh, there is something on it. It's a farm token. That's rather nice. Something W. I'm not going to rub it too much, but I'll post that up for you. Something W, farm token. That's looking north. Northeast facing plot this. I've got a 23 down there somewhere. Could this be a coin finally? I mean, not a 1p. See an imprint for something there, can't you? Where is it? Whatever we're looking for. See an imprint of something copper anyway. See that imprint? There's a coin around here somewhere, I reckon. Oh, there it is. It's a halfpenny, isn't it? What have we got? Oh, it's absolutely toasted, unfortunately. They're rather toasted. Probably Victorian halfpenny. We're getting much more of a proliferation of targets in this field here. Down the bottom, in other words. This one's 13. Come out of that hole there. It's not Friday the 13th, though, fortunately. Oh, thimble. Ah, so maybe this field was cultivated, this one at the bottom, in the past. That's nice, starting to find things, but it's getting late. Right, this is a 12. Yeah, what have we got? Tiny little copper thing. I'll post a picture up. Anyone any ideas, let me know. A few furry friends through there. Right, this is 16. What is that? Piece of lead. It's shaped into something curious. Look at the section it's got on it. It's a lead weight of some description, I would suggest. 25 here. What's this going to be? It's going to at least be copper. Yep. Coin, pre-decimal. think that's, I don't know who that is, that could be, no, I won't say until I've cleaned it, so I was going to say Georgian, but it may not be. Alright, this may have to be the last hole. I've got a 14 or a 16, it's getting dark. Oh. It's not in the clod I thought it was. That's a tiny piece of lead again. I've had a lot of these. It's actually a lead bullet, this one. Yeah, one of the old dome shaped things. There we are. It's getting dark now, unfortunately. It happens that you start with the field that is the least fruitful, and only when it gets dark do you find the best or most fruitful point. The birds are wanting to go to bed now. You can hear them in the bushes. Quite a racket they're making there. Thanks for watching. If you could give us a like, I'd be very grateful. It takes a lot of time to make these videos, and subscribe if you want to stay on top of each of my respective outings. Right, a quick roundup or resume, whatever you wish to call it. 35 finds in total. There were probably 3 or 4 more, but I haven't included them here. So we got a few buttons here. Victorian. I think that's a Georgian button. That it's rather more likely that it's pewter rather than lead. The shank's broken off on that one. I did say this was a lead token. Unfortunately, there's nothing that I can discern upon it, but I still think that's a farm token. This thing here is curious. It has a hole drilled through it, so if anyone knows, it does go right the way through. I just haven't pushed the dirt out. Thimble, brass thimble, sorry. Probably Victorian. This one has, I think, IW. This is another farm token. It had 90, I think it says 97. I'll put a better picture up. So another farm token, probably Georgian, but might be earlier. IW 37, 97, sorry. So the first 2 digits are not legible, so it could be 1797, could be 1697. These 2 coins, a penny and a halfpenny, see the halfpenny here, are in fact George III. So I can just about make out George III on this this penny here. So where there are Georgian, there are Hammards. So somewhere there might be a Hammard coin. A modern 1p, but pre-92, as I explained, because it's made of copper. Various bits of iron, an iron loop, a nail. Shotgun cartridges, 4 of them. This thing here, some electrical item, probably a capacitor or a battery, and some silver foil and a ring pull. 2 bullets. This one's 1942. It's a 50 caliber machine gun bullet. It's possibly come from an aircraft, because normally if it was a ground-based gun there would be more than just one in isolation. Same here. Can't quite see the date, but that's a 303 obviously. And various lead items. I've got this is I think that's a bullet, one of the older bullets from the 1800s. As I explained, ferrous lead bits. No markings on them, unfortunately. That bit is quite curious, it's solid lead. And undiscernible small pieces which show there was activity in that field. So there we are. I'll post pictures up now, and thank you very much for watching once again. And I look forward to seeing you, or for you to see me, on the next video. Oh, incidentally, this was a bit of a red herring. It looks so much like a cut quarter, but aluminium. Now that I've cleaned it, you can see what it is. A piece of aluminium that unfolds. Such a deceiving piece.